Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about my sorority experience. I also have a previous video about my sorority recruitment experience, which I will link in the description below. And if you have any comments or questions, feel free to ask. I am here to help. And don't forget to like and subscribe in this video. I would love, love, love it. Okay, now let's get started with the video. Okay, so why did I choose to join a sorority? Well, I have always wanted to be in a sorority since I was a little girl. So when it came time for college, I knew that I was going to join a sorority that was at the top. I mean, I knew I was going to join a sorority before I knew what I was going to major in. The only thing is that I assumed that I was going to be in a Divine Nine sorority. And for those of you who don't know who the Divine Nine sorority is, it's a historically black sorority or fraternity for the guys, but sororities for the girls. But yeah, I assumed going into college that that's what I was going to do. I had a full plan for it. But there was a situation, and there's going to be another video for that, if you'd like to hear about it. But yeah, I just didn't end up going that route, and even before I registered to enter recruitment for my school, I still assumed that I was going to just go into a Divine Nine, but that didn't happen. So I registered for recruitment, and honestly, going into it, I just wanted the experience. I didn't expect anything. I Yeah, I just didn't expect anything. I thought I was gonna have fun. I thought I was gonna meet a lot of new people, make some friends, see what the sororities were about on campus, and yeah, and it was a lot of fun. I met, and literally what I got out of it, or what I went into it, I got out of it. I met a lot of amazing people, saw amazing sororities. Everyone's so different and dedicated, and it was just really, really fun and um, inspiring, and a really, really good experience. And I don't regret it at all. It was so much fun, and everybody was just so different. There weren't just, you know, a ton of like same type girls walking up and down the street. Everybody was different in the way they looked and acted, and um, it was just fun, and I liked it, and I decided to stick with it, and yeah, it was a good time. So my sorority in particular um, caught my eye the first night I met them, which actually they were one of the last sororities I met on the first day before I met the rest. And like I said, they were in my recruitment video that we had 16 sororities that we had to see within 2 days. So meeting my sorority, they were the one house that I went into that I felt like myself. I could say anything, and I felt like everybody in there, like we all just kind of vibed really well. Like they felt like old friends. They didn't feel like brand new friends or anything else. It wasn't forced. Um, yeah, and even the girls that I was in line with that I could tell that actually ended up in my sorority, we got along extremely well. Like it was just, I don't know, it was gonna sound cheesy, but it felt like a home. It felt like, if I wasn't at home and I was with my friends or something like that, that was the house I could retreat to. And honestly, that's something that you want in a sorority. You want to be able to say that it's like your second home. Like it's one thing for your college to be your second home, but to have literally a group of people that you can say are like family to you, like a support system or family to you on campus, especially if it's your first time being away from home and everything. That's what you want. You want to walk into the room and not feel like the conversation is awkward or forced. Like you want to sit down and be able to say, "Hey, I like uh, musical theater," and five other girls are like, "Oh my gosh, me too!" Like you, it's just I love that, and we bond. We bonded instantly, like myself and the girls, and yeah, they were my number one choice. They through the entire experience, they were my number one choice, and I ended up in the sorority, and I was super super excited. And yeah, if I could do it all over again, I would choose them over and over again. Like they are amazing girls, and even the ones that even now to this day, the ones that I see all over um, in different states and different schools, they're just they're doing amazing things. They're awesome girls, and yeah, I'm happy to be a part of it. And they have such an amazing history and the women that founded it, and yeah, I love it. Okay, so pros and cons of being in a sorority. So, the pros of being in a sorority are obviously networking. You get to meet some amazing girls that are majoring in everything from theater to engineering to teaching, and being able to network with those girls and have them not only as friends but as your sisters is really awesome. Like, you can say that you know an author or a doctor or a nurse or something like that because they're your sisters. You always have somebody majoring in something, like no one is majoring in the same, not everyone's majoring in the same thing. So, you have a lot of people to utilize in for future endeavors. Another pro would be the sisterhood. I mean, you have people that you can call day in, day out. No matter if you want to just go for a walk or go to a bar, if you're having problems with school or anything like that, you always have somebody to talk to, which is a really, really good thing. But there are cons of being in a sorority. Number one, I would say, would be cost. Make sure that you are financially ready to be in a sorority because it can get really expensive, especially, I mean, we're college students. College students aren't exactly Bill Gates. I mean, they might be the next Bill Gates, but they're not Bill Gates right now. So sometimes it can be stressful balancing, making sure that you're paying for your sorority while dealing with your everyday um, school needs. Another con would be that for me personally, I think that you can get lost in a sorority of hundreds of girls because things happen in college. You may not be having a good time or a good experience in college, and you might feel that feel lonely, and unless you're reaching out or unless you have a sisterhood that's gonna come and make sure you're okay, you might get left behind. And from personal experience, I had a situation when I was um, in college, and I was just not myself, and I definitely ended up having to take a step back from my sorority, not because I wanted to, but because I just physically and mentally just wasn't there. And, some people showed support and were there for me no matter what. And then there are a lot of people, even people that I was friends with, that weren't exactly as helpful. Like people that I would, even in my own headspace, I was still willing to, break my back for them, but it wasn't reciprocated. And, sometimes that can be a bit discouraging, especially when there's so many girls that you um, feel that you can fall back on, and it just seems like there's nobody. Like you can feel really lonely in a group of 100 girls. which sounds weird, but it you can if you're not um, what am I trying to say? If you're not being involved, if you're not sharing yourself with them, if you're not opening up to them, if you're, you know, everyone's going through something, so not everybody is going to be, some people aren't as sympathetic, and, when you're dealing with different personalities, like everybody's just different, which is okay. That's also a pro that everybody's so different. Um, but yeah, the pros and cons are kind of just back and forth. Another con is perception that you get. I mean, a lot of people, well, that's a pro and a con because a lot of people that know that you're in a sorority know you went to college. They know that you are in a reputable organization that is doing big things in the world, and but at the same time, people not everyone takes sorority seriously or um, respects them because of the perception in like movies or on TV. And the thing is that people just need to separate TV from reality. I mean, yeah, there are things that happen on campuses. There's, hazing, I'm sure, on some campuses. There's, people throwing crazy parties and, just bouncing off the walls and everything. But for a lot of other groups, it's not the case. Like, my sorority was extremely chill. I mean, yeah, we had our fun, but we are extremely, extremely chill girls. Like, we're very laid back. And, just the perception from the letters on your shirt, people just group you. And, it's not cool, but you live to learn with it, I guess. Overall, being in a sorority is like being in a relationship, um, which I've never been in an actual relationship, but the relationships that I have had remind me, friendship relationships anyway, of being in a sorority. What you put into it, you're definitely going to get out of it. Um, I think realizing that everybody's different and everyone's experiencing things differently on different levels, I think needs to be more tapped into. Um, I suffered in college. Well, when I was with my sorority, I had really, really bad depression and anxiety, and it was just absolutely horrible. And so I checked out. But the thing is that even with me checking out, there was no one checking on me from my sorority. And that was a point in when I considered leaving my sorority because I felt like if I could feel this alone at home in my own state, in my own bed, but instead I'm here in a different city, in a different place, and I joined a sorority that I thought was going to come and, if I was at my low, would come and scoop me up, and that didn't happen. I mean, I did have a time when it happened, but it wasn't necessarily, I believe, because they initially were like, oh, hey, let's go check on Courtney. No, it was because, my mom asked because she felt away. And I think that's just one thing about my experience that had bothered me. But, the girls, they're all really nice girls. They're all, like I was saying, they're all different. They all, you know, experience things different, love differently, deal with people differently. And I don't hold it against any of them at all. Um, and I think now that I'm away from the situation, it makes me appreciate them even more. It makes me really look at them as a group, as a whole, differently. Um, I have no regrets though. I have no regrets about joining my sorority, no matter what's going on. I've been through a lot with them. I was in a car accident with one of my sorority sisters rather. I, you know, seen them go through boyfriends. A lot of them, some of them gotten married, and they're out here. They were at the Women's March the other day. Like they're really out here doing their thing, and I am extremely proud of them all. And yeah, I don't regret it, and I would do it again if I had the opportunity to do it all over again. Um, and yeah, I hope this video is extremely helpful. You guys get to hear a little bit about my sorority experience. I'm probably missing a whole chunk of it. Um, and yeah, and if you have any comments or questions, again, like I was saying, please don't hesitate to ask. Yeah, and like and subscribe this video. And thank you for watching. Bye.